Hey everyone. So let me guide you through how to do this because last year, let's just say this was not the best done activity. So you're going to want to read over this section right here, working with quotations, because this shows you the three ways we can put together a quotation. So all of these quotations are mentioning the same thing. They're just phrased differently. I mean, you can use all three of those examples in your writing. So what you're doing is you're going to read this article. You're going to choose one of uh, the quotations. Sorry, that's in the article. So you just need to find one quotation in the article, one quote that looks like one of these. So it's got to use one of those ways of talking. Then you have to identify which method the author used. So, did the author introduce the quotation with a complete sentence and a colon? So, for example, here, the scientist warned the public about the dangers of melting permafrost, colon. That could have been a full sentence, but we're going to continue it with a quote to prove that. So, colon, it could release massive amounts of carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, which could lead to more global warming, period. End of quote. So we state something, full sentence, colon, because we're going to prove that that sentence is true, or add more with our quote. Second way you can use a quotation. And remember, this is using the exact same information, just putting everything in a little different order. So use an introduction or an explanatory phrase, but not a complete sentence, separated from the quotation with a comma. So not a colon, a comma. So the scientist said, comma, it could release massive amounts of carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, which could lead to more global warming. So we're introducing it. We're saying who it is, and then we're giving something like said or yelled or exclaimed. So this is probably the one you guys have used the most. I've seen this one in your writing. So this is probably the one you're most comfortable with. So you introduce it. You introduce who's talking, and then you can write said, yelled, explained. So this is probably the one that's the trickiest, is number 3. Make the quotation a part of your own sentence without any punctuation between your own words and the words you are quoting. So the scientist warned the public that melting permafrost could release massive amounts of carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, which could lead to more global warming. So you're integrating it into your writing because you're using the exact phrase that they said. See, release, so there is the exact phrase. You're using it word for word, therefore you got to use quotations, okay? So what you're going to do again, find a quote in our butterfly article. Figure out which one of these 3 it uses. Step 2, you're going to write that quote 2 more times using the other 2 ways. So if it used number 1, you're going to write it like you're using number 2 or number 3. If it uses number 2, you're going to rewrite it using number 1 and number 3. If it uses number 3, you're going to rewrite it using 1 and 2. So you're writing it 3 different ways, the 3 different ways. Okay? Then, this is the most important part that a lot of people missed last year, so make sure you don't miss it. Explain which method you think is the most effective and why. Okay? So, after you've identified which one they've used, written it the 2 other different ways, which one do you like better and why? All right? So that is what you need to do for this. One quote Identify which one of these three ways it uses to quote the source or to frame the quote. Rewrite it using the other two ways. Then pick which way you like the best and explain why you like it the best. All right? So that's what you need to do to complete this assignment.